It's been a few weeks since the Alex patch where Luke got a handful of buffs. Now that there's been some time to experiment, I'm going to go over each change and talk about how impactful it actually is. After that, I'm going to talk about where this puts Luke in the overall meta of the game. He's definitely gotten stronger, but the question is how much stronger? The most notable change is the light Knuckle Oki. I usually go for the whiff drive rush standing light punch setup. This Oki feels really strong. You get a true strike throw shimmy mix from anywhere on the screen. It's nice to get such strong Oki from a meterless combo. There's also the dash, micro walk, crouch medium punch Oki. The trouble with this is that if the opponent back rolls, they're too far away for you to be threatening. It can be strong if the opponent isn't back rolling. As a result of this change, I've found myself going for light knuckle more often instead of spending the bar for a DRC. This has helped me to be more meter efficient. This feels like the most impactful of all of the changes in the patch. The other light knuckle change is the juggle potential in the corner. The extra damage is pretty nice, considering you get it for free. You can also juggle level 2, which can be useful to kill, especially when you're in burnout. This is a nice change, although Luke's damage is still below the top tiers. The heavy knuckle pushback change has been surprisingly good. I glossed over it in the patch notes, but the buff has led to me using this move a ton more. You can get a micro walk throw after it's blocked, so it essentially lets you start your strike throw pressure from anywhere. You still need to be careful throwing this move out, as it can be interrupted. This change makes heavy knuckle more rewarding and a much stronger tool. It's no Tiger Nexus, but it is something. On to some less impactful changes, standing heavy punch got a frameless recovery. This makes medium fireball gapless at some ranges, which is nice if the opponent is perfect parrying you a lot. At far ranges you can also remain safe without cancelling it. This allows you to safely call out an opponent who's perfect parrying your fireball. This change doesn't feel hugely impactful to me. Standing heavy punch was already a good poke. Nothing has really changed. The last buff was to the heavy punch target combo. I tried hard to make this work, but I still don't like this button. It's very slow to try to whiff punish with, and it also doesn't feel great to poke with. Despite experimenting with it, I'm still not a fan of this target combo. I know some Luke players love this button and use it all the time. For those players, this buff will be a lot more significant. Luke also got a nerf from the universal overhead changes. You're now left further away after the opponent blocks a drive rush overhead. This means you can't threaten a throw anymore. If you attempt a drive rush overhead reset and it's blocked, the situation is nowhere near as good. Since this is a universal change, I don't think it affects Luke's placement relative to other characters. Overhead resets are strongest as a surprise option, so it's probably not something you're using all of the time anyway. Now on to the burning question, how much stronger is Luke? I saw some people say that these buffs are meaningless, but that's definitely not true. These buffs will be relevant in every match, especially the new Oki. The improvements to his meterless combos are a big deal, considering how meter hungry Luke can be. It's also clearly hyperbole to say that Luke is now top tier. Luke is stronger, but the issues keeping him in mid tier are still present. His damage is still low, he's still reliant on strike throw mix, and he still doesn't have any oppressive tools like the top tiers. He still has bad matchups against the strong characters. Going by Cat Kami's matchup stats, Luke has a poor win rate against Sagat, Mai, Rashid, Ed and Blanka. The only top tier he really does well against is JP. Overall, Luke is stronger, but not significantly so. He went from low mid tier to high mid tier. The Luke buffs are impactful, but they don't massively change the character. If you're trying to win Capcom Cup, then there's no reason to pick this character over someone like Sagat or Mai. That said, I don't think Luke is holding you back outside of the top level. The gap between the top tiers and the mid tiers is small in this game. Luke won't carry you the way that some other characters will, but if you have solid fundamentals you can still do well with him. I still think Luke is a character who rewards players with good neutral. I mentioned before that I was considering switching away from Luke. On the one hand, Luke is my favourite character in the game. I enjoy playing him and he suits my playstyle. On the other hand, it does feel like the stronger characters are avoiding nerfs. I'm going to stick with Luke until at least the Ingrid patch. I'm hoping he'll get more buffs, while the top tiers will see more nerfs. Although I did spend some time learning Sagat and I did well with him, I don't enjoy him as much as Luke. I'll have to reassess once the patch comes out. If Luke doesn't get more buffs and Sagat escapes unscathed, I'll consider switching. Otherwise, I'll stick with Luke. I've been a bit out of practice recently, but I'm trying to get back into things because I want to start going to tournaments again. I don't tend to make videos about that kind of thing, but if you do want to see breakdowns of my tournament or ranked matches, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you all next time.